My name is Liam Corbin Ashford. I was 33 when my stepmother looked me straight in the eye and said, "Tell your wife you inherited debts, and watch how she reacts." I almost laughed. Not because it was funny, because it felt unnecessary. "There are no debts," I said. "I know," she replied calmly. "That's not the point." That's when I stopped smiling, because she wasn't guessing. She was certain. "Say it exactly like that," she added. "Don't change a word." I hesitated for a second. Not long, just enough to feel it. Because tests like that don't come from nowhere. "What am I looking for?" I asked. She held my gaze. "Truth," she said. Simple, clear, uncomfortable. I didn't argue, didn't question it again. I just nodded. Because deep down, something already felt off. Later that evening, I walked into the house. She was in the kitchen, phone in her hand, relaxed, normal. "Hey," she said without looking up. "Hey." I didn't sit, didn't move around. I just stood there and said it, exactly how I was told. "My father left me debts," I said, "and I'm expected to pay them." Silence, not long, but long enough. Then she looked up, and in that 1 second, everything changed. Not sympathy, not concern. Something else, something sharper, something calculating. "How much?" she asked. Too fast, too focused, and just like that, I knew this wasn't about me, not even close. I leaned against the counter, watched her, because now, this wasn't a conversation, it was a reveal, and she had just made the first move. "How much?" she asked again. Not softer, not slower, just clearer, like the number mattered more than anything else I could say. I didn't answer right away. I watched her instead, the way her fingers tightened slightly around the phone, the way she stopped pretending to do anything else, focused, waiting. That told me more than the question itself. "I'm still going through it," I said finally. Not a lie, just not the truth. Her jaw shifted, small movement, but controlled. "Is it bad?" she asked. There it was, not "are you okay?" Not "what does this mean for us?" Just "how bad is it?" I nodded slowly. "Bad enough." Silence. Then she looked down at her phone, unlocked it, typed something quickly, too quickly, then locked it again. That part mattered, because now, this wasn't reaction, this was action. "Maybe we should talk to someone," she said, "a lawyer or financial advisor." I almost smiled, not out loud, just inside, because the speed of that suggestion wasn't normal, it was prepared. "I'll handle it," I replied. Simple, flat. She nodded, but didn't push, which was strange, because normally she would ask questions, details, plans. Tonight, she didn't. She just accepted it, too easily. That's when I knew this wasn't new to her. This was something she had already thought about, already planned around, and now she was adjusting it in real time. I stepped away from the counter. "Where are you going?" she asked. "Upstairs," I said. A small pause. Then I added, "Just need a minute." She didn't stop me, didn't follow. And that was the part that confirmed everything. Because if this was real, she would have stayed close. But she didn't. She stayed right there, with her phone. I didn't go upstairs. Not really. I stopped halfway, just out of sight, close enough to hear, far enough not to be seen, because now, this wasn't about what she said to me. It was about what she said when I wasn't there. I waited. 5 seconds. 10. Then, her voice, low, controlled. "He said it's debt," she whispered. A pause. Then another voice, male, older, familiar in tone, but not someone I knew. "How much?" he asked. Same question, different person. That confirmed it. "I don't know yet," she replied, but it sounded serious. Silence. Then we don't wait," the voice said. "You understand?" My chest tightened. Because that wasn't concern, that was instruction. I know, she said. I'm thinking. Thinking. No hesitation, no confusion, just adjusting. You should have known before this, he added. I didn't have access, she replied quickly. Access. That word landed, hard, because now, this wasn't about debt. It was about control. I'll get it, she continued. Give me time. A pause. Then, don't take too long, the voice replied. Click. Call ended. Silence filled the space, but it wasn't empty anymore, not even close. I stepped back slowly, careful not to make a sound, because now, I wasn't guessing, I wasn't assuming. I had heard it, clear, direct, and the worst part, she didn't sound surprised. She sounded ready, which meant this didn't start today. This started long before my father died, and I had just stepped into it, without even knowing. I went upstairs this time. I actually went, closed the door behind me and sat on the edge of the bed. Didn't move, didn't think too fast, because when everything clicks at once, you miss details. And right now, details were everything. Access. That word kept coming back. I didn't have access, which meant she had tried before, more than once, and failed. Until now. I pulled my phone out and opened my banking app again. The account was still there, untouched, exactly where I left it. Good. That meant I was still ahead, for now. I locked the screen and leaned back, thinking, not about money, about timing, because if she was willing to act this fast, then she wasn't reacting to the debt. She was reacting to the opportunity. And that meant she believed something else was coming, something bigger. That's when I stood up, walked to the closet, reached behind the second shelf, and pulled out the folder. The real one. The one no one knew about. Inheritance. Transferred weeks ago. Secured. Protected. Invisible. I flipped through it once, then closed it. Because now, this wasn't about protecting it. It was about using it. I walked back to the bed, sat down again, and took a slow breath. Because this part mattered. Not confrontation, not anger, strategy. I pulled my phone out again, scrolled, stopped on one contact, my stepmother. I stared at the screen for a second, then typed, "You were right." 3 dots appeared instantly, then her reply, "I know, don't rush it." I stared at that message, then leaned back. Because now, this wasn't just a test anymore. It was a setup, and I was already inside it. I gave her exactly what she wanted. Time. That's the part people don't understand. If you move too fast, you only catch the surface. If you wait, they show you everything. By morning, she was different. Not obvious, not dramatic, just focused, more attentive, more careful, like she was watching me, the same way I was watching her. "You didn't sleep," she said, handing me coffee. "I did." "I didn't." She nodded, didn't push, then sat across from me, closer than usual. That mattered, because now, she wasn't avoiding me. She was positioning. "We should really figure this out," she said. "The debt, the timeline, everything." "Everything." I nodded slowly. "Yeah." A pause. Then I added, "I might need help." That landed. Instantly. Her eyes lifted. Sharp, interested. "What kind of help?" she asked. There it was. Not concern. Opportunity. I leaned back slightly. "Access," I said. Same word, same weight. She didn't even try to hide it this time. "Access to what?" she asked. I held her gaze. "The accounts." Silence. Then, "I can help with that," she said quickly. Too quickly. And just like that, she stepped exactly where I needed her to. Because now, this wasn't suspicion anymore. It was participation. I nodded once. "Good." Then I stood up, grabbed my jacket. "Where are you going?" she asked. "To set it up," I replied. A small pause. Then I added, "You'll come with me later." Her expression didn't hide it this time, not even a little, She wanted that. Badly. And that's when I knew. This wasn't just about money. This was about control. And she had already decided. She wanted all of it. I didn't take her to the bank. Not yet. That would have ended it too early. Instead, I drove us somewhere else. A small office building downtown. Neutral. Quiet. Controlled. "What is this?" she asked as we stepped out. "Lawyer," I said. Simple. Flat. She nodded. Didn't question it. That told me she was ready for anything, as long as it led to access. We walked inside. Reception empty. Conference room waiting, exactly how I said it. "Sit," I said. She did. No hesitation. I placed a folder on the table. Not the real one. A copy. Modified. Carefully. "What's this?" she asked. "Authorization," I replied. "Temporary." Her fingers moved to the edge of the paper. Paused. Then she looked up. "Temporary." "For now," I said. A small pause. Then I added, "Until everything clears." That was enough. Because now, she had a reason. A window. A way in. She picked up the pen. Didn't rush. Didn't hesitate either. Just signed. Clean. Confident. And that was the moment. Not when she spoke. Not when she reacted. When she signed. Because that signature wasn't just agreement. It was proof. I took the paper back. Closed the folder. Then looked at her. "You trust me?" I asked. She smiled. Soft. Controlled. "Of course." I nodded once, then leaned back slightly. Because now, everything was exactly where I needed it. The test was over, and the real part was about to begin. I didn't leave the room. Not yet. I let the silence sit. She watched me, waiting. Because she thought this was the part where things moved forward, where access opened, where control started. It didn't. I opened the folder again. Slow. Pulled out the paper she had just signed. Placed it flat on the table. Between us. Then I turned it toward her. "Read the last line," I said. She frowned slightly, confused. But she looked. Her eyes moved across the page. Calm at first, then slower. Then, they stopped. That was the moment. "What is this?" she asked. Different tone, no control, no softness, just sharp. I leaned back, watched her. "You signed it," I said. "That's not what you said it was," she snapped. "Of course it wasn't. That's the point." "Read it again," I replied. She did. This time, out loud. "Full financial disclosure, consent to audit, authorization to access communication records." Her voice dropped, stopped, because now she understood. Not everything, but enough. "This gives you access to my phone?" she asked. I shook my head once. "No." A pause, then I added, "It gives me access to yours." Silence, heavy, immediate, because now the balance was gone, completely. "You tricked me," she said. I didn't deny it, didn't soften it. "You were already trying to do the same," I replied. That landed, because it was true. She stood up, fast. "What is this?" she demanded. I stayed seated, calm, then said, "It's where this ends." A pause. Then I added, "Or where it finally becomes clear." Her phone buzzed, right on cue. She looked at it, didn't want to, but she did. Unknown number. She froze, and that's when I said, "Answer it." She didn't want to answer. I could see it. The hesitation, the calculation, because now everything meant something. "Put it on speaker," I said. Calm, clear, no room left to avoid it. She swallowed slightly, then tapped the screen. Call connected. Silence for a second. Then, "You got it?" the voice asked. Same voice, the one I heard the night before. She didn't respond, couldn't. So I did. "What exactly are you asking about?" I said. Silence, sharp, immediate. Then, "Who is this?" the man asked. I leaned back, looked at her, then answered. "The person you've been trying to reach without realizing it." No reply, no recovery, just quiet.
Because now, there was nothing left to pretend. You told her not to take too long, I added. Looks like you ran out of time. Click. Call ended. She stood there, still, phone in her hand, but not holding anything anymore. Because whatever she thought she had was gone. I stood up slowly, closed the folder, picked it up, then looked at her, not angry, not emotional, just clear. My father didn't leave me debt, I said. A small pause, then I added, he left me a filter. Her eyes lifted, confused, then something else, too late. Everything you said, everything you did, I continued, you did it thinking I had nothing. Silence, heavy, final. I stepped toward the door, stopped for a second, then said, you weren't looking for help. A pause, then the last line. You were looking for control, and now you have neither. I walked out, didn't look back, because the truth is, some tests don't fix relationships. They end them.